Okay, we're live. This is the OSRA Daily Scrum for Monday, February 9th, 2015. Here we have Gabrielle, Christian, and myself. And Gabrielle, let's start with you.
I did the change for the pull request. I did it, but give me a moment.
Hello.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, how are you?
All right.
Yeah, am I too late for the Scrum?
No, we're in the middle of it. It seems that Gabrielle had to do something quick. So why don't we switch over to you, Christian?
Yeah, I did some refactoring today based on the code review I got from you and Brian for the two pull requests that I still have open. One of them, if you remember, you said that the controller specs are touching too much, like also testing the database and
yeah, I was
the
checking
model.
if the record was actually created in a database. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to share the screen, that Google Hangout is stuck. Now I had to just stop out the save again, and this way only the controller, the inputs and the outputs of the controller are tested, and everything else is stopped.
Okay.
So I think this is the better way to do it.
All right. Okay, cool.
But again, we are back to the situation when last time I stopped the save wasn't very good, I think. So we had a big discussion about that.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Vaguely, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
We can't please everybody.
Yeah, because everywhere I look, everybody is touching the database when they are testing the create. Nobody is using build stubs for it. It's just they are just using build or what's the other one? Create.
Yeah. Yeah, create.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking that in a controller spec that should. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I suppose it's easy enough to run through the whole thing, through the whole stack. But if you want to keep it more of a unit test, then you really want to isolate it from everything. So.
Yeah, I to be honest, I agree with you. But when we learned in this SAS course, when we learned about testing the controller, they said the controller tests are actually functional tests.
Yeah.
And that means that the tests are also checking the connection between controller views and the model.
Okay.
So it's a step above unit tests. You're also checking the connectivity between or the relations between modules and classes and stuff.
You know, again, if we were going to go this way, I would say let's not call them controller specs. Let's actually start calling them functional tests, and maybe reserve controller specs for the few cases where we need to, I don't know, test multiple paths, for example, through the controller action, if there are multiple paths. Or something like that.
Yeah, but I think then we end up having too many tests.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely want to avoid redundancy and overlap. Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure this is probably a situation where there is no right answer. It's essentially up to us to decide. But
yeah, well then just we should keep on going as we did it before. Like we already talked about it.
Yeah.
And
All
if
right.
we have integration, controller, and model test, should be okay.
All right. Gabrielle, are you back?
Oh, yeah, I am back. I am hearing what you are commenting.
Okay.
I don't know.
Christian,
That's all.
was there anything else from you?
Oh no, that's it.
Okay. So Gabrielle, do you want to finish what you were saying?
Well, I did the change in the code, but the problem or the difficult, the hard part is with the test because I tried to do a view test, but I always get the notification nil because if you remember when you get in the part, you also you are already logging in. So if I tried also to put it in a controller, but I put it in HQ partner controller, but my change is in a view. It's not in a controller, so I think the controller cannot see my change or cannot see my. So it's a problem also in a controller.
Right. Okay. Christian, do you have any thoughts on this? Have you seen the message on Slack from Gabriel?
No, I didn't look, and now my Chrome is stuck and I can't do anything.
Okay. So basically, the problem is that he in the header that he's working on, he put in he wants the header to display the name or the email of the user who is actually signed into the application.
Yes.
But in the test, he's having problem signing in essentially in the view spec. And I'm trying to think. I don't think we haven't had any view specs so far that have required login yet.
No, I think no.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I have a black screen. My computer is dying. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, Gabrielle, in that case, so you say that you've tried the device helper and that isn't working for you?
Yeah, because when I read the documentation, always they say that device or their functions are for a controller.
Okay.
So I need to, or you need to make a new change in RSpec configuration. I also did try it. So I tried include device configuration, but in my view file, in my view test file, but it didn't work.
Okay.
So it is I don't know if I need to prove more about it, but no, and I also try to look the other spec tests, but they are not doing a sign in or something like that.
Right. Okay. I'm wondering in the view spec, do you think you might be able to basically assign a current user instance variable?
Yeah, that could be. I need to test it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not
to
sure.
mock a.
Yeah. So basically, you
Yes,
bypass the whole sign-in process and you just assign
but
the.
the problem is that probably you need to make other changes with the session or the cookies. I don't know to make it work good. I don't know. I could mock the whole thing. Try to mock the old class or the old sign in. Let's see. Let's see if
Okay.
it passed the authentication. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll just wrap up by saying that the only time I had to spend on OSRA today, I think I finished my exploration of service objects and trying to use them in our application. And in the beginning, they looked very promising, but in the end, so I was trying to use them for creating and updating and destroying sponsorships. And like I said in the beginning, that was quite promising, and I thought that we would be able to do it. But I think where I ran into the unexpected difficulties was that I can use them just fine when a sponsorship is created through the UI, but when creating sponsorships outside of the UI, so for example in tests, then I would need to kind of pollute the code too much with calls to these service objects. Instead of just using a factory, let's say, to create a sponsorship, I would have to use the factory and then make a call to the service object to make the appropriate manipulations on the sponsor and the orphan. And in the end, I'm really starting to think that they're not worth the trouble in this particular case anyway. And what we have now, the callbacks on the sponsorship model are probably the better version, the better way to handle updating the sponsor and the orphan whenever a sponsorship changes. So it was a bit of a waste of time, I guess, in the sense that I don't think any of this code is going to end up in the application, but it was educational, and I do have it still, all the code that I've written, so I can share it. Maybe I'll push up those branches to my repo, or maybe even create pull requests on our main repo, and people can see kind of the path that I took, and we can at least keep those ideas in mind for the future. Maybe they'll be useful in a future instance.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Other than that, we haven't really done very much. I guess we're waiting for Craig to get his internet working again, and hopefully that'll happen tomorrow, and we can have a retrospective meeting and sprint planning meeting, and we can decide how we will attack our phase 1 goals. So that's tomorrow night. At least that's
Sorry. Do you have the interview with the client?
Yeah, we had a meeting on Sunday evening. There is I'll just post a link to it quickly. Hold on. Here is the link to the notes that we took at the meeting. Basically, what they gave us was they prioritized the tasks for phase 1.
Okay.
And we had a small discussion about some of the details for some of these tasks. But probably during this sprint planning meeting, we'll discuss all of them in more detail, and then we'll have a sort of clear understanding of what it is exactly that we will be implementing.
Okay.
Okay, guys, is there anything else for us for tonight, or basically we're waiting for Craig and for the sprint planning?
For me, no. I will try to mock the sign it, and I will try. Well, I will tell you tomorrow if it works or no. Also, I will look on internet to see if there is something related to mock the signing, or to do something about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck to you, Gabriel, and I'd like to know how you finally solved the problem. So.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Okay, guys, have a good evening then, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See ya. Bye.
All right. Bye.